Ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy, the Doordash Revolution, once again with another episode with another live. This is our first live for the year 2026. We made it through 2025. Want to say have a happy, prosperous, and a blessed year. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've been looking at a lot of stuff, a lot of content. Been pretty busy out there in the Memphis City streets, talking to merchants, talking to customers, about what's actually going on out here. So let me do something right quick. I want to make sure that my sound and audio is okay. Let's do this right now. Let's do this right now. All right, show that we're live. Let's see. Right, show that we're live. Okay, there it goes right there. We're gonna pull it back down. I ain't think I got the live chat going. Yeah, I do have it going on. All right. Welcome to the channel. All right. Happy New Year 2026. Those that don't catch the live stream, hopefully you will catch the replay. So a lot of stuff been going on. We talked about the Memphis task force here in Memphis. We did 2 episodes about it. And the last that I checked has been over 5,000 arrests here in the city of Memphis. But this episode, I want people to look at that happened here in Memphis. And I got another footage I want to also talk about as well. First, we're going to go ahead to no further ado. We're going to go ahead and play this video right here.
This is on for 3 people accused of posing as food delivery drivers committing a home invasion. Thanks for being with us. Stay on third. WRD's Harrison Clough is live tonight after uncovering some pretty alarming details. And Harrison, what did we learn tonight?
Shay, good evening. This all happened at the Highland Meadows Apartments right on the other side of the road from me right now. But this is really the type of story that might have you thinking twice about your next food delivery order. And if we take video right now, we can see the photos Memphis police have released. And we learned, Shay, this happened on December 26th when officers say they responded to a robbery in the 2100 block of Parkhurst Cove at 11:43 in the morning. The victim told authorities that a female suspect knocked on the door, posing as a delivery driver. Police say that when the victim opened the door, they were ambushed by 2 armed men. MPD did provide photos of all 3 suspects, Shay, but the victim said the suspects entered their apartment and took their credit cards and phone and then left the scene. Memphis police say they're on the lookout for 3 suspects, 1 female, 1 heavy-set man, 1 thin man, all seen on camera leaving the apartment. They later left in a black Nissan. And Shay, we will have the latest details on Memphis Police's investigation when we hear back. They say next Monday they should have more answers for us, but we will let you know when we get those answers. From Airways Tonight, Harrison Clough, News Leader, WRG, News Channel 3.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is some of the things that I have talked about happening here in the city of Memphis. Delivery drivers getting robbed, people posing as delivery drivers, robbing customers. Hulk Smash myself did a lot of safety awareness video, situation awareness videos. I probably will be going to that pretty soon. To let you hear just a little bit of what Hulk Smash and myself was talking about and what's going on in our world. We got to stay vigilant at all times, ladies and gentlemen. And maybe I need to turn that light on right there. I don't know. It's the camera not there. It's focusing in if I do that. It's a sad situation out here. Being a delivery driver here in the city of Memphis, being a customer here in the city of Memphis, being a merchant here in the city of Memphis, being a law-abiding citizen here in the city of Memphis, as well as the police force and all of that. It's very alarming what's going on in the city here. Very alarming. Out here in the Memphis City streets, hopefully I can pull that footage up as well. I might be able to do it there, or I may be able to do it on my other device here, which is right here in my hand. Everybody out here in these highways, these are law-abiding citizens, ladies and gentlemen, that's doing criminal activity. We talking about law-abiding citizens. We're not talking about criminals doing criminal activity. We're talking about law-abiding citizens doing criminal activity here in the city of Memphis. It's sad, it's outrageous, and it's just ridiculous. When you're driving on the streets trying to share these Memphis City streets with other drivers out here, you don't know if you're gonna have someone honking the horn at you, trying to agitate you so you can run out in traffic, have an automobile accident, or somebody trying to run into you to run you off the road, or somebody pull up at a red light and they just unload a pistol, shotgun, or whatever. It's that dangerous here in the city of Memphis. So even with the task force here doing all they can, can't no one person be in 10 places at all times, ladies and gentlemen. So what's making it more challenging here is that you got law-abiding citizens doing criminal activity. They racing out here in these Memphis City streets, like everybody out like that, the Indianapolis 500. If you want to race your car, ladies and gentlemen, why don't you find out how to participate into where you can get paid for being a racer, drag race or whatever, Indianapolis 500, stock car race or whatever. But no, they're out here in these streets doing, in these Memphis City streets, doing donuts out in the intersections, doing donuts off in the parking lot of restaurants. All different nationalities, it's not just blacks, it's not just whites. I mean, it's all different nationalities that I see out here. Look like it's a trending thing. I don't know if they trying to go viral on social media. Reason why this thing going on. A lot of the ideas coming from playing these video games, Fast and Furious, and they done turned these video games out into the streets trying to do it in real life, ladies and gentlemen. Had a high-speed chase that happened over there in the 38111. Yeah, 38111 zip code. Person got killed over there. High-speed chase. Another high-speed chase, someone got killed. I almost got hit just recently. A high-speed chase. Okay. Then last year, 3 weeks ago, someone tried to run us off the highway. We had to drive up on the curve, almost hit the light poles, almost went down in the slope. Thank God that, we came out of that unscarred, but the vehicle, front bump and stuff messed up on it, but we still have our life. People just wilding out, nobody respecting each other, nobody respecting the streets, nobody respecting the laws, nobody respecting each other. And it's sad. So let me go ahead, ladies and gentlemen. I want to be able to pull up. I know I'm not going to do it on here. So let me see, can I pull it up here? I'm looking at it right now. Let's see. We're going to try to pull it up the best of our ability. Let's see. Yeah, I want to go to that video there. I can pull it up. Let me see. Well, I've got time. Be patient with us, though. Let me see. Can I pull it up? Let's hit the turn. Turn. All right, let's go up. Okay, that's what I was afraid of. This is what I was afraid of right here. This right here. This is what I was afraid of. Let's try it now. It went up, it went down. You go back up.
Percent.
Okay, I'm not gonna be able to do it. You just stop it right there. I'm not gonna be able to do it. Get some more batteries. Let me try it here. I'm gonna do it here. You just won't be able to see our faces, even if I do it like that. But you'll be able to hear our voices. So I want to go to the episode. That's not the episode I want to go to. I want to go to the episode where me and him we were talking about. I want to see it. I don't even see it. It's on that device right there. I thought it would have synced over here to this device, but nevertheless, I'm not going to be able to pull that footage up right now. Maybe in the next episode. Apologize for that. We talked about safety awareness. We talked about paying attention to your environment, right? We talked about tips. Tips, it might be in this video. Hold on. It just might be in this video. Let me look at it might be in this video. Let's see. No, it's not in this video. We was on a live stream. It wasn't on this one, but we was also talking about tips, how dangerous it is out here now that drivers confronting customer about tips, knocking on the door and all of that. You've seen videos and tons of videos about it. I know of 2 delivery drivers 3 years ago. Horse, a little horse, apologize for that. Matter of fact, let me get some water. We back right now. Two drivers, as I was saying, knocking on people's doors, confront them. If it's female, they confront them about they went long distance and they feel that they should get paid anywhere from $5 to $10. So it could at least balance out $2 a mile. This particular driver, I told him and warned him many a times, he may be listening or he may catch the replay. Hadn't seen him in a while. Don't know if he's still doing it out here, but I'm quite sure he is because he still got Walmart Spark. You know, he one day went to approach a lady about the tip. I don't know, did he text her? I don't know, was he having a conversation with her about the situation? But as he gets there, he was like, man, I'm getting ready to ask this lady for extra tip. I said, well, why did you take the order if you had a problem with the tip? Trying to keep the ratings up. I understand that, but if you had that big of a problem with the tip, why did you take it anyway? You know, I would have had to lose a point on my ratings if the tip wasn't worth it for me. Yeah, there'd be times when you look like you don't get these kind of orders until you're trying to reach a threshold on these ratings on Doordash, Ubereats, Grubhub, and you get caught in between orders. And a lot of times we thinking it's the platform sending it to us. Basically, I see we got people coming in now. Let me go ahead and go to the live stream. So that way, if anybody interacting, we interact with you. Yes, times are getting hard out here. This is not a complaint. This is not ranting, but times are getting hard out here. Where there's more long distance orders, more reverse orders, more low tip orders, or less tips or no tips at all. It looked like it's saturation or nothing but these kind of orders, ladies and gentlemen. I know it have been on Grubhub. Okay. I've been hearing Doordash drivers, Ubereats drivers, YouTube content creators talking about it all over the platform throughout America, but yet we talk about that our markets is different. Our markets are not different when we see a whole lot of long distance offers. Our markets are not different when we see no tipping offers. Our market is not different when we see less order volumes. But yet there are differences in every market in every city. There are differences, but there's a lot of similarities. We're not going to continue debating about it because now more and more content creators talking about the things that we talked about 2 and 3 years ago. Now, somebody understands about a pay rate scale. I recently talked about, maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, that you need to know your pay rate scale in your city, in your market, for it to be realistic for you. Only you can determine what that is. That means you got to do it through case study. You got to do it through research. Okay. You got to do it through research. You got to get out in the streets, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of content that was in the past, we talking about 10 years ago, 7 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, was very, very misleading. More and more people discovering that now, because before the pandemic, during the pandemic, or when this thing was brand new, people realized that they can make a lot of money doing ride-alongs, make a lot of money showing the people the money, but not showing the details. I'm not trying to come here and be one of those content creators that they're saying I'm squeaky clean, or a content creator that's trying to sound better than everybody else, because I'm not. We sharing the experience of what we have seen in the past 10 years in this business. When you're in the streets, some information we try to follow and try to use when you first get started on the platform. We may have some new drivers, brand new drivers watching this video. I hope you do get a chance to see it in the replay, and you're listening to people in Reddit groups and Facebook groups. You got to get with the group to learn how to be manipulated by the system, or you're going to manipulate the system. Notice what I just said. 2 things there. Are you getting ready to learn how to manipulate the system? Or are you going to be a victim being manipulated by this ecosystem? Chew on that for me. Yes, it's true that you can't believe everything you hear. It's true when people say they're making so much money, and then they might not be making what they said they're making, because they're not showing the details, right? You have a little bit more and more content creators showing a little bit of details in the ride-alongs, but a lot of things still not making sense. And I'm gonna get back to the pay rate scale. You can tell that I'm off script. I don't have a script set up. I didn't plan this a week or 2 weeks or a month ago that I'm gonna do this video. It's just like, boom, I gotta do one. The pay rate scale I'm going to share with you is just an example for you to do research in your market, in your city, in your state, or whatever country you doing gig apps in. Let's start with Grubhub Premier, Pro, Part. Reason why I did that little animation to make people say, wait a minute, why he's taking his time, pausing in between beats like this there, to make you think about each level. All right, partner level, $9 to $12 on the low end, 13 to 15 in the mid-range. 15 to 17 on the high end is a realistic pay scale range you can work with until you learn all of the things that you have a lack of knowledge on that you will learn about later as you do this business. From $9 to 12, low end, 13 to 15, mid range, and 15 to 17 if you're a Grubhub partner. Once you get used and get more familiar with your demographics, what's going on in your market, and you know the things that goes on behind the scenes, knowledge that a lot of drivers don't know, you found out about, you may make more. Now let's go to Grubhub Pro. Low end 13 to 15, mid range 15 to 17, high end 17 to 19. Pro level Grubhub in Memphis, Tennessee. Once you learn how to rectify the discrepancies that happens on this platform, or through trial and error, you're able to figure out a solution to the problems that's causing you to lose money more than making money, you can make a tad bit more. Premier. 15 to 17 on the low end, 17 to 19 mid-range, 19 to 21 high end as a premier driver. If you are in Memphis, Tennessee, I could have had a chart, maybe put it on the TV there, and did a spreadsheet there for you, make it look fancy and whatnot, and then had a stick that they use in class and pointed to each one of those categories there. Didn't have time to do that. As I said, it came to me. I'm ready to put the video out. We didn't work on this a month ago. We didn't work on it a week ago. We're not on the script. Boom, we're just coming off the cuff with it, bringing it to you. Now, you can try me to see is it true or not if you want to. You can even go and check on Chat GPT or Gemini to find out what are the statistics is for top earners here. They're leaving out supersaturation statistics. They're leaving out closing restaurant statistics in Memphis, Tennessee. They're leaving out merchants unplugging their tablets, even when they're getting Grubhub orders. That statistic is being left out as well. I want you to think about that for a minute. And you wondering why you can't make money on certain platforms. We got a series going to be going on this year, dealing with some of the things we go through with Grubhub, the things I've experienced with DoorDash, and the things on Ubereats. Then you're out here in these busy Memphis City streets. Okay, with all kind of activity going on. So, too many drivers in one location. New drivers, you don't realize that. Because what you heard and what you being taught is, okay, let me go to the ones I know I can make money at. I'm going to give you an example. I'm getting ready to play a video on what I'm talking about. I'm not going to be able to pull up on screen due to I need some more batteries. But I am going to pull it up here. I'm going to turn the volume up, hope that you hear it. Don't be too much static and all that. We're going to talk about the new era of multi-app strategies 2026. Matter of fact, I just did a short, 15-second short. And I might just play that first. Let me go to that. I'm gonna play that first. Man, I wish I could. I'm gonna try it one more time. If it don't do anything, I'm gonna have to do it here. Let's see. We're gonna have to eyeball it off this device here. Let me see. Can I do that? All right. Let's see. We're gonna leave it like that. It's doing some weird stuff. So this is what we're gonna do. Shut it off. We're gonna do it on here. We're gonna turn it up. We'll show you that. I might do it like that. I don't know. We're gonna go to the beginning and we're gonna talk about the series of Follow the Money series. This is one of the first videos that we will be doing in 2026 when we're talking about the future of DoorDash in 2026, the future of Grubhub in 2026, the future of multi-apping in 2026. All right. This is part one for the 2026 Follow the Money series I want to share with you. We're going to turn it up and turn it on. DoorDash is king. DoorDash is dominant at that restaurant. The merchants are going to prioritize that platform. DoorDash is king. All right. DoorDash is dominant in majority of your merchants' business. So merchants are going to cater to the platform that's bringing them the most money. Even though Ubereats may be a close second, Grubhub bring the money, but not near as much as DoorDash. So who's going to get left behind? Who's going to get left behind? Grubhub going to get left behind. You may be wondering why you in the restaurant and like it's taking forever for you to get there, or it seemed like you being put last on the list. That is the reason why. Because they're catering to the apps that's bringing the most revenue in. All right. So now I want to go to the episode. While we get a little bit of time left, I want to go to the episode.
Tomorrow, I would like every diabetic, including you, to know this. Did you know that?
All right, there we go. Ads coming in there. Let me make sure where I'm at. I want to go to a certain area there. Matter of fact, we're going to play it right there because there'll be the continuation of that. DoorDash is king. DoorDash is dominant at that restaurant. The merchants are going to prioritize that platform, which means that you will be able to get in there and get out of there because that platform is partners with that restaurant, DoorDash, for instance. And you may have had to wait longer for Ubereats and longer for Grubhub because DoorDash is king at that restaurant. In another marketplace, Ubereats is king. DoorDash coming in there second. They can come in there and the food can be already ready because that restaurant caters to the app that's bringing them the most money in their restaurant. Okay, so Ubereats is king. Go in, you come out of there faster. You gotta wait a little longer for DoorDash, and you gotta wait longer for Grubhub. All right, Grubhub have restaurants, even though they may have the other two apps right on their door. There are Grubhub restaurants that cater to Grubhub. You walk in there, you still want to walk right out. Everybody, they looking at you like, wait a minute, where you come from? We've been here 30 minutes to an hour. We declining orders because we juggling our apps. You get an order, you come right in, and they call the name of your customer. You walk in and say, I have that customer name. I'm Grubhub. All right, I'm gonna stop it right there, ladies and gentlemen. Those that catch the replay, you'll get the gist of what's going on. Now, reason why we're coming with the Follow the Money series 2026 is because new and beginning drivers really don't know how to make that money right off. They're trying to get every bit of information they can get, plus they trying to do their thing and how they figure out they can make money, or they going by what other drivers done told them, or Facebook groups, Reddit groups, content creators. But what's not being said in these YouTube streets or Gig2 streets is that the money is being made, but you rarely see any type of detailed information that has any value that will turn the light bulb on in your dark room to make money. I show you that I made a $300 payday. Did a ride along, pick orders, bragging about how I don't take lowball offers, bragging about how I don't take things that don't make sense to me. It don't show you any value. Okay. So it making you think that you can get out there and do that, not knowing what the algorithm is. Content creators talked about the algorithm before me. Content creators talking about the algorithm during the time I talked about it. And content creators will be talking about the algorithm after me. Everybody have their own opinion. Some have their own perspective due to experience. Majority of the drivers don't know how to work the algorithm. They don't know that where there's business districts, there are boundaries of where when you cross that boundary, you're going to get a different set of orders from the algorithm of that boundary that's going to take you away from the hot spots that you are chasing. That is the information that's not being said out there today, ladies and gentlemen. All the talking about I can crack the code on the algorithm and all of this. One content creator talked about that the algorithm is set in his city, in his market. That's true. He said if it's happening here, it got to be happening somewhere else too. It is happening in all our markets. Every market, every city has a set algorithm to the economics of that city, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. It'll be another year or 2 years before some of them will figure that out. Then they're going to do some videos. I guarantee it. Now, look at your section. The map is on there. It's not on this phone. I just got a new phone. When I was a little driver, I went to the visitor center and got a map. I draw 7 circles of the city, 7 sections of the city, or 7 boundaries of the city where I knew I could make money in. I didn't just chase one particular spot. That's where a lot of drivers are going to lose money at in 2026. Because the stuff that happened that you could get away with 2017, you definitely can't get away with it in 2016. Either you're going to learn how to manipulate the system, or either you're going to be a victim of being manipulated by the system. Then it may benefit you to take certain reverse orders. I said certain reverse order. It takes a skill set of trial and error and experience and the information that you gather in your marketplace to know when to accept orders like those and know how to turn them into maximizing your earnings for better payoffs and profit. The percentage on it is very low, 5%, 10%, but it can be done. I've done it. Content creator, predict, gig mom, I'm gonna call her name, that Grubhub is declining. Dino predicted just a few days ago that it's declining. I've been doing case study research on Grubhub for 2 years now. This will be a second year. And if things don't change, it will be declining. I started to take a picture, which you know how you think about things after you've done seen it, but not before you see it. And I knew that Hardee was going to close 3 years ago in Olive Branch. They had some of the sorriest tasting burgers I ever tasted in my life. Customer service sucked. I'm not surprised it's closed for business. I don't know how long it's been closed, but I knew it was going to close. Now, I wish they had took the picture of it to where I can tie it into the story I'll get ready to tell you before I get ready to leave the show. It's sad. It's not hilarious. It's hilarious that people actually think that one day they won't get burned by thinking this way or having this mindset. That's the hilarious part about it. The sad thing is the destruction it brings when we push this ideal upon everybody else. What are you talking about, D-Rev? This is what I'm talking about. Poor customer service at Hardee's. Jacked up sandwich, jacked up food. They're out of business. All right. I went to the restaurant in Olive Branch the other day, was getting a whole lot of orders in Olive Branch 2 days ago. I said, wait a minute, this is not even in my region. Why is I'm getting these orders now? Everybody know the answer to that question. Drivers wasn't taking them orders, or it wasn't even drivers out. Now, when I get to this place, it's been about 2 years since I've been at this place. Got pretty good Mediterranean food. My wife begged to differ on it, but everybody got their own taste and preference. I walk in, I talk about a Grubhub order, just like all the merchants I usually go to, except the ones that actually do stay active with Grubhub, had that look on their face. You came in for a Doordash order, an Ubereats order? No, I came in for a Grubhub order. There was no Doordash orders, there was no Ubereats order, just a Grubhub order. I asked a question. I said, I got a question I want to ask you. I talk to my merchants, I talk to the customers, I talk to the merchant employees. And I talk to drivers, business owners, right? It would blow your mind like landmines if you actually was able to be on the other end of my phone call conversations and see, do I do these things with people? You'd be amazed. He just say a few things, people just give him information. Make a long story short, we go ahead and I said, You must don't get that many Grubhub orders. No, we don't get that many Grubhub orders. I don't care if we get them or not. My hat caught an attitude, ladies and gentlemen. My hat did. Not me, my hat. Usually, when my hat feels a certain kind of way, it shifts on my head. You'll get a chance to see it one day. People thought I was lying about it. My wife, she began to start paying attention to that now. She's like, okay, what experience you just had a few minutes ago before you can't pick me up because your hat telling the story? Let me know something went on wrong. Okay. Hope y'all got a good laugh out of it. So the lady sit here and say she didn't care. I said, okay. But y'all still have the service. And it means you still got customers ordered off the platform because I'm here. All I care about is Doordash. Because that's where my money is. My mom might not think, she saw the look on my face, but my mom may disagree with me. I said, ma'am, I disagree with you as well. You still got a lot to learn about running a business. You don't understand about cash flow too good. I got to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. There go the sign. I got to get on block. You don't understand about cash flow. Don't you know that cash flow is the number one reason why businesses go bankrupt? You don't know that. Every penny counts. So you the type of person, if your money bringing in pennies, you don't want that. You want them $100 bills. But them $100 bills don't come every order of your business. So why not get all that money that's coming in? Especially for the days you don't get them $100 bills. Now let me do the flip the script with you, or show you the flip side of this thing. I'm a delivery driver. Notice the attitude you just gave me as a customer. Now, let me show you the flip side of that. Suppose you got plenty of business. I get plenty of business out your store, but I don't get the bangers. All right. But the other metric rating spot, the bangers are over there. So you got loyal customers, good paying customers. But you don't have the bangers. So suppose I tell you that I'm gonna stop coming to this establishment, or I don't care about this establishment unless there ain't no money out here. Then I come over here and I shop with you and do business with you. But as long as there's plenty of money out there, I'm going to decline orders from your loyal customers, even though they're $10 for 3 miles, $15 for 2 miles, $20 for 5 miles. I'm going to turn them down because I know I can get catering orders over here. I said, do you understand the picture I'm showing you right now? Do you understand the picture? You got a point, sir. But before we got to that step to where I had to open her eyes for her, she was like, it's all Grubhub fault. It's all Grubhub fault. And then as she was talking to me, well, see, I didn't even have it plugged in. There's a lot of drivers the same way. In their mindset, they can make money at establishment, loyal customers, but I'd rather get over here and try to get these $50 payouts, $75 payout, $100 payouts that I got to compete with millions of drivers for when I could be making money over here? Let me go to the live chat right quick. I think some activity going on over here. Yeah. What's up, famous Amos? How you doing, brother? Happy New Year 2026, brother. Good morning to you and good morning to everyone. I appreciate you here in the live chat. It's the mindset of people, man, when we feel like we're too entitled, we better than everybody, and we feel like things are beneath us. We get like that when things is plenty. What would your mindset be when everything falls in a season of scarcity? The lack of things. You're going to have a total different mindset. You're going to want to run to that restaurant and get them $10, $15, $20 payouts for 3, 4, and 5 miles. You'll take a $20 payout for 10 miles because of the scarcity of the situation. So we got drivers that think like this. So suppose I give you the same attitude and you're my customer. Don't care about your customer. Just like you gave me an attitude about picking up at your place of business, getting the food for your customer. And you think like this here because that platform not bringing in the money that DoorDash bringing, but it's still bringing you money. You know how many restaurants I've been at? Hundreds of them. That when I go in there and talk about a Grubhub order, they got to plug it back in the phone or the tablet. I mean, the tablet got to plug it back in. That's okay because we're doing Follow the Money Series 2026, and you're going to get a chance to hear some of that information coming from the voices of the conversations that I have with how I interact with people doing my business. This is how I get my tips. This is how I get my money. This is how I do it, bottom line. Okay. Oh, I don't fool with McDonald's because McDonald's don't have them catering orders. If I thought like that 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have got a $45 payout on Grubhub from McDonald's from one of my highest paying clients. If I had had that same mentality, if I had to listen to the folks that talk about that crap on Facebook, if I had to listen to the content creators I heard say that, I would have missed out on a $45 payday that led me to a $90 payout on a catering order. If I had to listen to that foolishness. Y'all don't hear me today. Trying to be that too entitled driver. Trying to be, I'm better than this and I'm better than that. So what will happen during the season when it's not plentiful no more, that you don't have the good fruit on the tree? You barely have low-hanging fruit. All the fruit is on the ground, half rotten. You're going to get the half rotten fruit. I'm not telling you to get it now. But all of those that's talking about they all on their high horses, lying about some of the money that they making that they not making. Because I found that out in this city here, and I found that out among other content creators, and I found out which ones are cheating the system. But they do YouTube videos making you feel like they the icons of the era of 2026 doing this business. You don't never see details. You don't never see breakdowns. All you see is the money. I want to know how you made it. I ain't got to know every detail, but I want to know how you made it. Just like I shared on my video a few months back. Look at that payout right there. Let's break this thing down. It looked like a prosperous day, but after I broke it down, I showed people it was one order kept me from making $200 because of one order. I made good for that day, but that one order kept me from making $200 order. I believe in making more money in less time. More money in less time. I don't believe in doing what I used to do years ago, being out there 10 and 12 hours trying to make $200. 15 hours trying to make $200. I don't do that anymore. It's been years since I did that. That was in the beginning stages. You know, I like to get mines on the run. But a lot of drivers just driving out here. They just all over the place, right? They don't know about boundaries, that once you cross a certain boundary in a zip code in your marketplace, it could put you in an area where you may be making money or put you in a situation, an algorithm, you don't make money. You cross over that boundary and you get nothing but long distance orders, reverse orders, no paying offers. You ain't figured out that's the problem. You went into a boundary that was set, that set algorithm was for a driver that ever step in here. We got you handcuffed. All right. So yeah, Major Deliveries is right about that. The algorithm, they have a set algorithm. He did mention boundary. Yeah, when you're in the district of businesses, there's a boundary according to zip codes, ladies and gentlemen, zip codes. I talked about that. You're going to have to go look at them videos. I'm not going to sit here and start doing videos all over again about zip codes, how you blacklist them and top list them. That's all I'm going to say about that. Go find them videos. Then you're going to understand the boundaries of where certain orders in the preference of set algorithm of the type of money you're going to make in that zip code, ladies and gentlemen, in that business district. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. You know, I'm going to give you a call too, probably later on today. I'm going to get ready and pull out. I got to pick up and then I got to get out in the streets a little bit. But we're going to change our mindset in 2026. And know what's real and what's not real, what sound right and what don't sound right. We need to quit trying to chase after what people say is fast money when it's not. And sometimes you got to chase that kibble a bit to get to that bigger payoff. Just like you used to have to use a minnow to catch crappie, or not crappie, but catch a bass or bigger fish. Okay, it takes small fish to get the big fish. That's what I'm getting at. So what we need to realize, what's going on, 50-something Dash, a happy new year to you. I heard you've been putting out a lot of exciting content out there, according to Torque. You know, yeah, I look at them guys here now, and they've been hot and heavy lately. Him, Dino, Major Deliveries, I think, after he told people that the video that Major Delivery did, it skyrocketed. I think it's over 1,000, pretty good over 1,000. He did do a good video though. He did do a good realistic video talking about the pay in his market. But it's one thing he left out though. He left out about the Seattle ordinance of what that pay scale is supposed to be as well. You know, it falls in between there, which means that they still got to work for that money. So he was talking from the side that they got to still work for that money and know how to work for that money. But they also got a minimum wage threshold there too as well. So I'd like to hear more information about that coming from him so I can get a more understanding of how that market works. Cause somebody got a family reunion. I may travel that direction there. And I want to shop in that market if I do. You know, in the next, maybe next year or year after next. It maybe within 2 years, I want to be able to go in that market, shop there a little bit, see how it is. I'm gonna do some research as well. But everything he put it down. And it is a set algorithm to them business districts in them boundaries of the city's zip codes. Now, go look for my videos. It breaks it down for you right there. So without that knowledge, you're not going to meet that pay rate scale in your market. It may make a difference in making that pay rate scale on the low end or the high end. And if you just came in, you need to watch the beginning of the video when I first got started. We talked about the Memphis situation that happened here. It was another Memphis situation I supposed to brought up, but time not going to allow me to do that. So be sure to look at the beginning of this here. If you got questions, say we can't find that video, will you direct us? Put it in the comments and we'll send a link to you. We'll do that. But everybody got their own experience. Everybody have their own story. And you got to get out in the streets to make this money. But you got to understand what's going on in these streets. Okay, you got to understand what's going on with the people that you do business with. And why wouldn't you go ask a few questions with the people you do business with? Why would you not try to find out information and get it from people that you do business with? Why not build a relationship with those that you do business with? Or there may be some you may have to stop doing business with. You heard what I just said. So maybe I might do a video on that. You know, sometimes we keep shopping with the same person and it's not beneficial for us. You know, when I had a contract doing home improvement, and when I got the gig and everything, yeah, I made money with them. But when it came to certain things that supposed to be worth a higher cost and everything for doing certain additional, you know, building or painting or fencing or whatever it is, you know, add an additional cost to it. They wanted to keep it at the same price. So I'm like, this, I only can use that person in the time when I need to make that kind of money. But I had to stop doing business with them because it wasn't profitable for me. So it's up to you to make the decisions on who you're going to do business with, who you have to stop doing business with. Remember this. To elevate, sometimes you have to separate to make it to the next level. Peace. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. We're out of here. We'll see you in the next video. I got about 30-something minutes I got to get there and get out here because see with Grubhub, just like everything else, you have to be at a certain, if you're trying to get to that certain spot, you need to be there 30 minutes early. If you're not at that spot 30 minutes early, don't expect to get orders from over there. Peace. Take care. We'll see you in the next video.